some of the things we did on the outside of the coach is we had HWH install the levelers at the factory, and then also on the outside we installed screens for the mud daubers to keep them out of our vents, and then I installed a storage for the sewer hose and the connections, which was described in a previous video. That's all in there and tucks away nicely behind the doors. And then we added the Borg tire valves. This makes it so much easier to air up and check the tires. So we did the metal valve stem on the front tires as well. So now you can just check both tires right there. Where did that guy go? There it is. And then on the other side of the coach, also described in another video, I added that service bay for the freshwater hose, black tank, flush, all the fittings, and then the upgrades to the service bay. This video is about some of the things that we added to the galley area to make it more useful for us. One of the things with our floor plan is it doesn't have a lot of counter space. So what I did was removed the paper towel roll. Instead, now we have our paper towels up underneath here, so that you can just reach in and grab a paper towel whenever you need it and not take up counter space. And then I also added a outlet on the side here, so that if you need to plug something in, like a blender or a toaster, you can plug it in here instead of the only other outlet that Winnebago gives you, which is up here, which is not the most convenient place. And then we added a dish soap dispenser here that holds a lot of soap in a little plastic container underneath the countertop. And then in a previous video I described replacing the mechanical igniter with an electronic igniter, and that works a lot better. And underneath the sink area, there's a lot of things that I did to maximize the storage here. Our trash basket is here. This is from the Container Store. Just uses standard grocery bags, and this works out really well. Got a Ziploc caddy there. Got our cutting board pull-out basket from the Container Store that houses our soap and rags and expandable colander and so forth. And then another one on this side that has our dog food and dog treats. And then on the side has our Nespresso capsules for the pull-out breakfast center here, which I described in a previous video. This works out really well. So we don't have to have any of this stuff on the counter anymore. And then finally, on the pantry side, we use these cupboards for our pantry. And the trouble we had with these is they're dark. When you open these up, they create a shadow and it's hard to see what's under there. So we installed these LED lights, and they just stick on. They're battery operated LED motion detecting light activated lights. So they come on when you open the door, and they let us have a good view in there. Lastly, the smoke detector that comes standard with the coach is a real problem. It's right here in the galley. So it goes off whenever you're cooking anything. So I replaced it with a smoke detector that now, if it goes off, I can just press this button and it will silence it for 10 minutes. Or if it gets really bad, I can just pull out the drawer, and that drawer just disconnects it entirely. Surprisingly, this smoke detector isn't legal in California where we live, so I had to ship it to my sister in Montana, who then shipped it to me. But this is a lot better than just taking off the smoke detector, because it sounds every time you cook. This is a video regarding some of the things we added to the coach that we found very useful or helpful. One is we upgraded the fire extinguisher to a Halotron larger capacity one. And we also put in a little dog center for our golden doodle. And it's lightweight, which is kind of cool. So it has the dog bowls and a toy box for his stuff. And then we have a coat rack from the Container Store. This is nice looking. It matches the coach well. We can hang our leash and coats and flashlights and stuff. We added the WeatherTech mats. There's some discussion about how you only order the front part because the middle part for the Sprinter WeatherTech mats doesn't fit, but in fact it will fit okay. What we did was we just went ahead and rolled it up the side a little bit and put some Velcro, the male part of the Velcro, and it sticks to the carpet that's already there just fine. So you can have a center WeatherTech mat if you want it. And then since the infotainment center hands-free phone doesn't work really well, I found this is very useful. It's a Bluetooth earpiece for the phone that's always charging, which is handy. And then it also has a couple of USB ports on it that'll charge your iPhone or tablet. And we added the scan gauge, which is very helpful. And then this is a Pro Clip holder for our iPhone 6s Plus. It's a big phone, so we use it like you would an iPad. So we can use Waze, and also it's wired to a USB port behind the infotainment center. So it wires into that, so that charges, it keeps it charged, and also lets us listen to audiobooks and so forth from the phone. And then one of the more unusual things is we live in an area where we're not allowed to have our motorhome with us. So we have it in storage, and there's a keypad. So this is a extendable button pusher, so I don't have to get out of the motorhome in the rain or whatever to open up the gate. And it's just made from a selfie stick. In the bedroom area, we added the Froley box spring, which I covered in another video. But another thing we found useful is the coach comes standard with a blackout shade. But it's actually fairly easy to add the solar shade as well. So that can be ordered directly from the manufacturer and installed. The installation of the solar shade is actually pretty easy. The brackets, they just clip into brackets that are mounted at the top. This is the factory installed blackout shade, and this is the solar shade that I ordered from MCD Direct. The only tricky part is, it's not even tricky, you just need to move the valance out just a little bit. I moved it out about a half an inch, maybe a little less, so that you'd have enough room to mount both these side by side. Because if you mount them as MCD would normally mount them vertically, then it's going to hang down too low and obscure too much of the window. So I preferred mounting them side by side so we didn't disturb any more of the view than we had to. For the bedroom closet, the main closet, I installed another one of those motion detecting lights, which lights up this area pretty well, and then a shoe rack here, which takes up this side, has a lot more space for storing shoes, and still gives us plenty of hanging space. And the light is nice because without it, it's pretty dark. As you can see, you can't see in there without the light, but as soon as it detects any movement, now you can see again. So those little LED lights work out really well. This video describes some of the things we added to the bathroom area to make our life a little more enjoyable on the road. One is we added this built-in hand soap dispenser, dispenses antibacterial hand soap, and then we went to the Container Store And one thing I recommend is just going to Container Store, parking there for a couple hours, and just getting whatever kind of containers will nicely fit everything that you want in these cabinets, because they're so oddly shaped. And then underneath we also did pull out baskets that fit there. And then the soap, the antibacterial soap, actually is under here. I don't know if you can see it, but that's the bottle that holds the antibacterial soap. Just tucks up in there, doesn't take up any space. And then we had a problem with the bathroom door. The latch, it would just come open on its own while we were traveling. So I fixed the latch so that now it closes properly and doesn't come open. And what that is it's just, you have to adjust this thing. So we ended up putting a spacer in here, and then just aligned this guy properly. Built it out just a little bit so that the latch caught properly. And then we added a fantastic fan in the top, and per another member's suggestion, which actually worked out really well for us as well, we installed the remote right here. So this way, if you're sitting there and you need the fan, you just turn it on and you can control it right from here. And then we also added this shower caddy. We had a mesh one before, but for some reason the thing would just start smelling, and it wouldn't, there's no way to keep it from smelling. Even when we laundered it, it would just smell the very next trip. And that worked out well for us. Okay, so this is the remake of the breakfast center that I did. I had done one originally, and it was kind of a temporary solution just to see if it would be valuable, and it turned out it really worked great. So I came up with a more permanent solution, which is this slide out here. And now the slide out has the toaster, the frother, and the Pixie Nespresso machine, and it also has the cups and back here. And what's nice is it also operates independently now, so I can get the basket out from underneath and keep the Nespresso capsules here, and there's a dispenser down here. Just pull out whatever flavor you want, and then we can use this, and it makes things really simple. It's all plugged in already, so the plug routes from each of these machines underneath to a outlet plug, and then it routes over to the corner and plugs in. So that way I never have to worry about unplugging it and plugging it in. So the cord comes up in the corner there, and then it folds back here. So when I push it in, it just tucks back nicely behind there, and I pull it out, it just comes back. And then it just tucks away after we're done using it. When we're at the campsite, I want to spend as little time as possible connecting our service items. And so what I came up with was an idea to have the hose permanently connected. And there's a bay next to the service bay that's normally fixed. And I made it openable and installed a flush valve here for the black water tank, which is sitting behind there, with a hose permanently attached that I can connect when I want to flush the tank. And then also the freshwater hose here with all the fittings that I need already connected. So I've got my quick connect connector, my filter, pressure regulator, and pressure relief for the hose. I just pull off as much hose as I need to get to the spigot, and then I use the quick connect here and I connect to the hose, and I'm set. On the service bay end, I've got another quick connect going to the house, which is here, so that way this hose can be flushed. I can flush water through the hose all the way through here, out here, and once it's flushed completely, then I can go ahead and connect it to the house, and I'm all set.